it's William. Welcome to FlySpoke. And in my vise I have a hot orange UV Prince with the black bead, white wings, has a gold rib, and a number of different versions of this. But these two versions right here, I call this one the redhead UV Prince, and they accounted for the fish you saw in the preview to this video, and I'm going to show you how to tie these. So I'm starting off with a mustad hook. It's a 3906B, the longer shank hook. This happens to be a size 12, and then with a 1/8 size tungsten bead. And basically, you can vary the color of the bead, black and gold. This one happens to be copper. And nice contrast to some of the different colors that you can do this fly in. But what we have found is that the UV materials, the UV dubbing from Hairline Dubbin Company, seem to be really working well on some of the landlocked salmon and trout we fish. And I'm going to use some UV brown. It looks rather purple in the package, but it's Ice Dub UV brown. And I'm just going to start out taking a very tiny little bit of it, and I'm going to make a small dubbing ball in the back of the fly. And just put a little bit on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a spot that'll make a little bit of separation for me for the two tail pieces that I'm going to put on. I'm taking some mahogany turkey biot quills, and all I do is I take the this turkey biot feather and take out two of the barbules from that, and I put one on at a time. You can use goose biots for this also. I like a little larger. They're a little larger on the turkey, and you're going to make these so that they're fairly short. It's a split tail. And we just go ahead and put those two in. Now that little dubbing ball we made, when I pull tight, will help split that. Open. You see that? When we put the thread right in front of it. And we'll give you the separation that you need. Now this fly, you could put some extra weight on this fly if you wanted to wrap some weight. I don't particularly feel that you need to wrap all that much weight on these flies. I'm just going to clean up that biot a little bit. And come right back to where that small dubbing ball was. Next item, I'm just going to take a piece of Uni-French in gold and put that in here to the back. Let it sit, clean it up. I feel that when I'm using these dubbings, I can make the body have the correct size and taper. I don't need that extra weight piece in the front to do that. And now I'm going to make a tapered body, kind of chunky. And I'm going to go to about there. And put a little bit more, I think. Wants to be a little bit heavier. You know what? These flies basically have a stone fly kind of feel to them. So stone flies have very flat, wide bodies. And take my ribbing, and wrap my rib to there, fold back, wrap over. Next, I'm just going to take an appropriately sized, pretty small feathers that you'll find on a dry fly hackle. You can use the lesser length ones for these kinds of flies. And this is going to be legs, and I'm going to basically just tie that right to there. And I'm going to go back to my dubbing. Now, you have a choice. You can darken for contrast. Here's now the peacock ice dub, peacock black ice dub. Or you can stay with the UV brown. There's the peacock. You know, these flies originally used peacock herl to do some of these parts of the fly. I'm going to add a little bit more. Beef that up a little bit in the front of the fly. Okay, wind my hackle on, and these are going to represent some legs sticking down. Be careful, it gets short. There we go. Trim out your tip, and then just trim right across the top, just the top pieces, top barbules of that dry fly hackle. Then I'm going to go back to a turkey biot again. And snip out a couple of turkey biots. White, don't like these, so I'm going to grab another feather. These are you got to look at the quality on some of this stuff. A lot of this packaged material, it's really hard to buy in the mail because you just don't get to see it. And you're looking for biots that have nice shape and length to them. And when they get wimpy and curly in certain places, they're just not that good for this fly. Now, these are the two white wings I'm going to be putting right on the top of the fly. Keep them the same length. Almost all the way. Not quite all the way back to into the tails, almost maybe to half the distance of the tail. I like to crisscross them. Some people like to make them straight back. I like to give them a little bit of a crisscross on the top. I don't pull that tight, okay? So I've made my crisscross with them, right? Now, in order to get them to lay flat, all I have to do is take the ends, lay it back over, and put my thread over, right like that. Right? I've put my thread over, and I'm just going to trim out right to that thread. I'm going to trim out the pieces, take my thumb, I'm pulling forward here now. Pull forward. And that'll kind of lay them down for you. And then, now I'm just going to take, this is synthetic, Davy Wooten's synthetic living fiber. This is crimson color. You can go to a UV red, a fluoro red. But the red really, really is an important factor on this fly. And we're just going to spin a little bit on. Nice and tight spin in the front. Covers everything up. Take off the excess. whip finish. And now I'm going to just grab all this excess dubbing that kind of gets itself out. You can clean it up a little bit. We could just use thread also on the front. You could use a just a red thread if you wanted. I like the little bit of dubbing. Just clean up a little bit. The Redhead UV Prince. There it is.